don't scroll. Seriously, don't scroll. This message didn't just appear on your screen, it was sent. If you're watching this on Monday, January 19th, 2026, your soul was meant to pause right here. Listen to this. Your heart needs this right now, even if your mind is still trying to figure out why. Take a deep breath. Feel that stillness for just a second. That's not silence. That's God getting your attention. You didn't click this by accident. Out of millions of voices, millions of videos, millions of distractions, this is what found you. And there's a reason for that. The universe has been trying to reach you, softly at first, through signs, through feelings, through moments you couldn't explain. And now it's speaking clearly. This message is for you. Not for everyone. For you. You've been strong for a long time. Stronger than people realize. You smile, you show up, you keep going. But deep down, you've been tired. Emotionally tired. Spiritually tired. You've had nights where you stared at the ceiling asking God questions you never said out loud. Why is this taking so long? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward except me? Did you forget about me? Listen closely. Heaven heard every single one of those questions. You need to know this right now. God never forgot you. Not for one moment. Every delay, every closed door, every ending that hurt, it wasn't punishment. It was protection. There were things you were saved from that you'll never fully see. There were paths you almost took that would have broken you. And God stepped in quietly, without explanation, because sometimes protection looks like delay. Today, this Monday, is not an ordinary day. Spiritually, this is a turning point. A reset. A gratitude checkpoint. The universe is asking you to pause and recognize how far you've come. Not just physically, but emotionally. You survived things that should have destroyed you. You healed from things you didn't think you'd recover from. And even now, while you're still waiting on certain answers, you're standing. That alone is proof of divine guidance. If you've been seeing angel numbers lately. 111 when you check the clock, 222 on receipts, 444 on license plates. This is confirmation. Those aren't coincidences. Those are spiritual nudges saying, you're aligned. Keep going. Something in your energy has shifted recently. You may not have words for it, but you feel it. Old patterns are losing their grip. Old fears don't hit the same anymore. You're awakening. An awakening can feel confusing before it feels peaceful. There's a reason gratitude is being emphasized right now. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about trusting that everything is purposeful. Today, when you thank God, even for the things that didn't work out, you unlock something powerful. Gratitude changes timelines. It opens doors you couldn't force open with effort alone. When you thank God before the blessing arrives, you tell the universe, I trust you. And listen, this part is important. If you've been praying about love, about your soulmate, about feeling chosen instead of optional, this message is touching that area of your life on purpose. Right now, somewhere, there's a heart being prepared to recognize yours. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg. Divine love doesn't arrive in chaos. It arrives in peace. And before that connection enters your life, you are being aligned first. You might feel emotional as you listen to this. Maybe your chest feels heavy. Maybe your eyes are burning. That's not weakness. That's release. That's stored pain leaving your body. You've been holding it together for so long that your soul is finally exhaling. Let it happen. Healing doesn't always feel calm. Sometimes it feels like remembering who you really are. Before this day ends, you will receive a sign. It might be small. A song. a message, a memory, a sudden sense of peace that comes out of nowhere. When it happens, don't brush it off. That's confirmation. That's the universe whispering, "You're on the right path." This is only part 1. And trust me, what's coming next is going to touch parts of your life you didn't expect. Stay here. Stay open. And before you do anything else today, thank God. Out loud if you can. Even if your voice shakes. Because this Monday marks the moment where things begin to shift in your favor. Listen, and don't let your mind talk you out of this. If you stayed for part 2, that alone is confirmation. Something inside you already knows this message is real. Your spirit recognized it before your logic could question it. This isn't entertainment. This is alignment. This is your soul being spoken to directly. And yes, this message is still for you. Lately, you've been feeling things you can't fully explain. Random waves of emotion. Moments of deep reflection. A strange pull to slow down, detach, or rethink your life. Maybe you've been outgrowing conversations, places, even people you once felt connected to. And part of you feels guilty about that. But listen carefully, outgrowing is not betrayal. It's evolution. You are in the middle of a spiritual shedding. Old versions of you are falling away. The version that tolerated less than you deserved. The version that stayed silent to keep the peace. The version that kept giving even when it was draining you. God is gently removing those layers because where you're going next, you cannot carry that weight. You may have noticed people drifting away lately. Less texts. Less effort. Less alignment. That wasn't rejection, that was redirection. Some people were only meant to walk with you through one season, not the next chapter. And instead of forcing them to stay, the universe stepped in and created distance for your protection. What's meant for you will never require you to beg to be chosen. This is especially important if you've been praying about love. If you've been asking God for a partner who sees you, understands you, and chooses you fully, this message is touching that prayer directly. Right now, you're being prepared emotionally and spiritually to receive a connection that mirrors your growth. That's why past connections couldn't stay. They couldn't meet you where you're going. You might be wondering why it feels so quiet lately. Fewer distractions. Fewer people. More time alone with your thoughts. That silence isn't emptiness, it's preparation. God often removes noise before He reveals direction. In this quiet season, your intuition is sharpening. Your discernment is strengthening. You're learning the difference between chemistry and alignment, between attention and intention. Pay attention to the signs around you right now. Angel numbers are increasing because your guides are close. 111 is reminding you that your thoughts are powerful. 222 is telling you trust is required. 444 is confirming protection. Even the songs you hear randomly, the words people say without realizing it, those are messages meant to wake something up inside you. And here's something you need to hear clearly. You are not behind. Your timeline is divinely designed. The delays, the waiting, the unanswered questions, they weren't setbacks. They were shaping your character, your boundaries, your self-worth. When what you've been praying for arrives, you'll understand why it couldn't come sooner. If you've felt a sudden urge to let go, to forgive, to release resentment, to stop replaying the past, that's God preparing your heart. You cannot receive what's next while holding on to what already hurt you. And the moment you choose peace over proving a point, everything changes. Before this week ends, expect clarity. A realization. A moment where things suddenly make sense. You won't need to chase confirmation, it will find you. And when it does, you'll feel calm, not anxious. Secure, not confused. That's how you'll know it's real. This is not the end of the message. This is the unfolding. What's coming in part 3 will speak directly to your future, your purpose, your love life, and the blessing that's been delayed but not denied. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. And remember this, what's meant for you is already aligning behind the scenes. Don't skip this. If you've made it to part 3, there's a reason your spirit is still listening. Something important is lining up right now, and your soul already feels it. This message is not here to scare you, it's here to prepare you. Because what God is about to reveal in your life is going to change the way you see your past, your pain, and your purpose. You've been in a waiting season, whether you want to admit it or not. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for stability. Waiting for love that feels safe instead of confusing. And in that waiting, there were moments when you wondered if you were being forgotten. But listen carefully. Waiting does not mean abandoned. It means God was working in ways you couldn't see yet. There are things happening behind the scenes that you were never meant to control. Conversations you were never meant to hear. Doors that had to close quietly so you wouldn't second-guess God's protection. If you knew how much was redirected for your good, you'd stop questioning the timing. The truth is, you were being preserved for something sacred. Right now, your intuition is stronger than it's ever been. That's why you're more sensitive to energy. You can feel when something is off. You can sense when someone's words don't match their intentions. This is discernment, a gift. And it's activating because the next season of your life requires wisdom, not just hope. If love has been a painful topic for you, this part is especially for you. You've loved deeply before. Maybe too deeply. You gave chances, benefit of the doubt, patience, even when it cost you your peace. But here's what God wants you to know. Your capacity to love was never the problem. You were just giving it to people who couldn't hold it. That's changing. There is a soulmate-level connection being aligned for you, one that doesn't drain you, confuse you, or make you question your worth. This connection will feel calm, grounded, and intentional. No mixed signals. No guessing. No emotional games. And before this person enters your life, God is teaching you how to recognize consistency as love, not chaos. You might notice that you're no longer attracted to the same patterns. What once excited you now feels exhausting. What once felt familiar now feels wrong. That's growth. That's healing. That's your nervous system finally choosing peace over adrenaline. You are stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't chase, you attract. Pay attention over the next few days. You may feel guided to rest more, to pray differently, to write things down, or to release something you've been holding onto. Obedience in small moments will unlock bigger blessings. God often whispers before he moves loudly. If you feel called to let go of a habit, a connection, or a mindset, trust that nudge. This is also a season of emotional restoration. The things that broke you didn't break you permanently. They refined you. They softened your heart without hardening your spirit. And that's rare. Many people survive pain but lose their tenderness. You didn't. And because of that, God can trust you with more. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, stability is forming. It may not arrive all at once, but it will arrive steadily. And when it does, you'll realize why chaos had to leave first. Peace cannot coexist with constant stress. God is clearing space. You are also being protected from distractions disguised as opportunities. Not every open door is meant to be walked through. That's why some things fall apart right when they seem promising. That's not failure. That's divine interruption. Trust the redirection. Before this month ends, there will be a moment of clarity that feels almost surreal. Something will click. A realization will land. And you'll say to yourself, "Now I understand." That's revelation. That's God connecting the dots for you. If you've been feeling called to deepen your relationship with God, to pray more honestly, to listen more than you speak, follow that pull. Your spiritual life is becoming your anchor, not your last resort. And that shift changes everything. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. This chapter is about alignment. About choosing yourself without guilt. About trusting God without needing proof. About believing that what's meant for you will never miss you. If you're still here, don't rush this. This isn't background noise. This is a message meant to land exactly where it needs to. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. The blessing you've been praying for isn't far away. It's not someday. It's not years from now. It's close. Close enough that your spirit can already feel the shift, even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet. What's been slowing things down isn't time. It's alignment. There is a moment approaching. A quiet, seemingly small decision that carries more weight than you realize. It's not dramatic. It won't come with fireworks or a clear sign screaming from the sky. It will come as a choice between comfort and growth, between familiarity and faith, between what feels safe and what feels right. And God is watching how you choose. You've been asking for change, but change requires release. You can't receive what's next while holding on to what no longer fits your future. That includes old habits, old mindsets, and yes, old connections that drain your peace. Not everyone who walked with you is meant to stand with you in the next chapter. Some people were lessons, not lifetimes. This is where many people delay their own blessings. They hesitate. They second guess. They stay in situations God already asked them to leave because it's easier than starting over. But listen carefully. Delayed obedience creates delayed miracles. When God nudges you to move, He's already prepared what's waiting on the other side. If love has been the area you've struggled with most, this is where things begin to shift dramatically. You've learned the hard way what inconsistency feels like. You know what it's like to be emotionally available while someone else remains half present. But that chapter is closing. God is not bringing you another lesson. He's bringing you alignment. The next connection in your life won't require you to shrink, chase, or explain your worth. It will feel mutual, steady, intentional. You'll feel chosen without having to ask. And the reason it hasn't arrived yet is because you are still learning how to walk away from what didn't honor you. Right now you're being tested, not punished. Tested to see if you'll choose peace even when chaos feels familiar. Tested to see if you'll trust God even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Tested to see if you'll stop settling just to avoid being alone. And when you pass this test, everything accelerates. You may notice that old temptations are resurfacing. Old people reaching out. Old patterns knocking on your door. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. The enemy always tries one last distraction before a breakthrough. What you choose now determines how clean your next chapter will be. Financially, there's movement too. You've been worrying about stability, about security, about whether you'll ever feel truly grounded. God is lining things up slowly but solidly. This next phase won't be about quick wins. It will be about sustainable peace. The kind of stability that doesn't collapse under pressure. Spiritually, your discernment is sharp right now. Trust it. If something feels off, it probably is. If something feels forced, it's not aligned. God speaks through peace more than pressure. You don't need external validation for internal knowing. Here's the decision that matters. Will you choose faith over fear when the moment comes? Will you release control and let God lead, even if the path feels unfamiliar? Because the blessing you're asking for requires a version of you that no longer clings to the past. Before this season ends, you will be asked to step forward, emotionally, spiritually, or practically. When that moment comes, don't hesitate. Don't overthink. Move with trust. God doesn't reveal the whole staircase, He reveals the next step. If you've been feeling tired lately, that's because transformation is happening. Growth is exhausting before it becomes empowering. Rest when you need to, but don't retreat. You're closer than you've ever been. This part of your story isn't about struggle, it's about selection. You are being selected for a higher standard of love, peace, and purpose. And that requires courage. If you're here for part 5, pause for a moment. Take a breath. Because what you're about to hear isn't about fear, pressure, or striving anymore. This is about relief. This is about what happens after you finally choose yourself, after you trust God even when your hands are shaking. This is the moment many people never reach, but you are. Once you make the right decision, the one your soul has been nudging you toward, something shifts almost immediately. Not always on the outside, but deeply on the inside. The anxiety loosens its grip. The overthinking quiets down. That constant feeling of being on edge fades. And for the first time in a long time, you feel safe in your own spirit. That peace is your confirmation. God doesn't always speak through loud miracles. Often, He speaks through calm, through relief, through the absence of chaos. When you choose alignment over attachment, your nervous system resets. Your body realizes it no longer has to survive, it gets to live. That's why the right decision feels like weight lifting off your chest. Soon after, external confirmation follows. A door opens that you weren't forcing. A conversation happens naturally. An opportunity presents itself without struggle. Something you thought would be complicated unfolds smoothly. That's how you know it's God. What's meant for you flows. It doesn't fight you. You may even notice people reacting differently to you. Respect where there used to be disregard. Effort where there used to be excuses. But here's the difference now. You're no longer chasing validation. You're standing in your worth. And that energy changes everything around you. This is especially true in love. After you choose peace, the dynamic shifts. The kind of love coming toward you now isn't chaotic or emotionally draining. It's intentional, grounded, present. This person won't rush you or confuse you. They'll meet you where you are. And the connection won't trigger your anxiety, it will calm it. You'll recognize it by how safe you feel being yourself. There will be no need to perform. No need to prove. No need to over-explain. Just mutual understanding. And if you've been healing from emotional wounds, this connection will feel healing rather than reopening scars. That's divine love. It doesn't hurt to teach lessons. Financially and practically, things begin to align too. Small wins start stacking up. The stress around money, work, or direction eases. You start seeing options where you once saw dead ends. And while it may not all arrive at once, you'll feel something solid forming beneath your feet. This is God restoring your confidence, not arrogance, but trust in yourself again. You've spent a long time doubting your decisions because past choices led to pain. But those experiences didn't mean you were incapable. They meant you were learning. And now you're wiser. You're more discerning. You're no longer led by fear or loneliness. Expect signs of confirmation after your decision. Repeating numbers. Unexpected messages. A sense of clarity when you pray. Even your sleep may improve. These are all signs of alignment. Your spirit knows when it's back on track. There's also forgiveness happening here, not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. For staying too long. For ignoring red flags. For settling. That self-forgiveness is crucial, because you cannot step into the next chapter while punishing yourself for surviving the last one. You didn't fail. You grew. The universe isn't testing you anymore, it's responding to you. The moment you chose differently, everything recalibrated. That's how powerful free will is when it aligns with faith. You may still feel moments of doubt, that's human. But notice how quickly peace returns now. Notice how you no longer spiral the way you used to. That's strength. That's healing. That's God rebuilding you from the inside out. Before long, you'll look back at the version of yourself who struggled with this decision and feel compassion instead of regret. You'll realize that everything unfolded exactly how it needed to. Not to break you, but to prepare you. Part 6 will bring this journey full circle. It will speak about gratitude, destiny, and the life that's opening up because you didn't give up on yourself or on God. Stay present. Stay grounded. And remember this. The moment you chose peace, God chose to move. And nothing about your life will be the same after this. If you've made it this far, stop for a second. Don't rush. Let this moment land. Because this isn't just the end of a message, it's the beginning of a new chapter in your life. And the reason this part exists is simple. Gratitude seals destiny. What you acknowledge now becomes permanent. What you thank God for now becomes protected. You didn't come through this journey by accident. Every part you listened to, every word that resonated, every emotion that surfaced, that was alignment. Your soul was remembering what your mind had forgotten, that you were never alone, never overlooked, never abandoned. Even in the seasons when you felt invisible, heaven was active on your behalf. This is the moment where things come full circle. Look back for a second, not with regret, but with clarity. Think about where you were emotionally a year ago. The confusion. The waiting. The questions you didn't have answers to. You were surviving then. Today, you're awakening. And that didn't happen overnight. It happened because you kept choosing faith, even when doubt was loud. Gratitude isn't about pretending the pain didn't matter. It's about honoring the fact that it shaped you without destroying you. Some of the strongest prayers you ever prayed were silent. Some of the deepest healing you experienced happened in private. And God saw all of it. Right now you are standing in a transition. 1 foot in the old chapter, 1 foot in the new. And the only thing required of you in this moment is recognition. Recognition that something has shifted. Recognition that you are not the same person who started this journey. Recognition that peace is no longer something you chase. It's something you protect. This is where many people miss the moment. They rush past it, waiting for the next thing, the next sign, the next miracle. But miracles multiply when you pause and say thank you. Gratitude tells God, I trust you with what's next. And trust is the language of heaven. If love is entering your life, or already has, gratitude keeps it grounded. You don't idolize it. You don't fear losing it. You receive it with humility and presence. And if you're still waiting for that connection, gratitude prepares the space it will occupy. Love flows best where appreciation already exists. Your soulmate connection, whether near or on the way, will recognize this version of you. The one who no longer begs for effort. The one who listens to intuition. The one who knows when to walk away and when to stay. This connection won't be loud or chaotic. It will feel like relief. Like recognition. Like something finally making sense. Spiritually, you are anchored now. You don't panic the way you used to. You don't spiral when things feel uncertain. You've learned that God works best in the unseen. That silence isn't absence. That delay isn't denial. And that lesson alone is worth everything you've been through. This is also a moment of release. Release the need to prove your worth. Release the fear of missing out. Release the guilt for choosing yourself. Release the pressure to have it all figured out. You don't need to know every step. You just need to stay present and grateful. God doesn't require perfection. He responds to sincerity. Before you move forward, take a quiet moment today. Whether it's in your car, your room, or under the open sky. And thank God, not just for what's coming, but for what didn't happen. For the doors that closed. For the people who left. For the prayers that were answered with, "Not yet." Those were protections, not punishments. You are entering a season where peace becomes normal. Where love feels safe. Where stability replaces survival. Where your energy is no longer scattered, it's centered. And that doesn't mean life will be perfect. It means you will be grounded. This chapter is sealed by gratitude, but it's sustained by faith. Continue to listen. Continue to trust. Continue to choose alignment over fear. When challenges come, and they will, you'll face them with a calm confidence you didn't have before. You are no longer becoming, you have arrived. And the universe knows it. God knows it. Your spirit knows it. So let this be the moment you say thank you, fully, sincerely, without conditions. Because what you stepped into now isn't temporary. It's destiny.